Puffa the Postie is now going to give you my views on this year's Grand National 40 runners. In numeric order, number 1, Bristol Demai, rated 167, is £2 better off than it would be if it was officially rated now. This popular grey horse has only run once behind Native River, the highest rated horse in the country, since November. He's always been associated with heavy ground. Staying this trip could be a worry. Never got up the hill in the Gold Cup when it did run in it. It's had 32 runs and only fell once. If he takes to the fences, he could be a player. Number 2, Chris's Dream. Talented horse from Ireland. Big doubt about him getting the trip. Ran and jumped poorly at Cheltenham recently. Going could also be against him. Rated £2 higher in England than by the Irish handicapper. Yellow Inky, number 3. Better on soft, but has won twice on good to soft. 11 years old now, been in top form this season though. Briny Frost factor comes into it, will be popular with the women. His rating of 160 may just stop him winning. He has fallen over the fences before also, back in December. He's only a small horse, will do well to get in the top 10, I believe. Moving on to horse number 4, Ballyoptic, 11-year-old who's fallen 2 out of 3 times over the national course. Seems to be on a downward spiral. He is an out-and-out stayer, but may struggle to get involved. 1 star. Definitely Red, rated 158. He's a 12-year-old now, been a top horse for a number of seasons. Got badly hampered in his only other attempt in the national and had to pull up. He is prone to the odd jumping error, and his age is catching up with him. He has an outside each way chance. Number 6, Lakeview Lad. Won on the Mile May course, first time up this year. Been put in his place since, ran poorly in the 19-year national. He's carrying £2 more this year. He's now 11, and he would only have an outside each way chance. The ground could also be a negative. Number 7, Borough Saint. Won the 2019 Irish National, so stamina shouldn't be a worry. He's from the formidable Willie Mullins stable. The ground should be perfect. Had a decent prep in second in February. He's an 8-year-old. He must have a major chance. Magic of Light has been an unbelievable mare, really consistent over hurdles and fences. Second in the last run of the National in 2019 behind Tiger Roll, off a £5 lower mark. He's £4 wrong at the weights if it was running now, rather than when the weights were issued. The going should be okay. She may still run a big race, but you're looking at an outside chance of being placed, in my opinion. Acapello Borja, 155 rated, 11-year-old. He beat the fancied Borough Saint last time in Ferry House, giving it £6 by 4 3/4 lengths. He was beaten by the same horse in the Irish National again, giving £6, again by 7 lengths. Only fell once in 27 runs. His age could be against him. He's another one with an each way chance, but I think Borough Saint will be the better bet out of the 2. Number 10, Talk Is Cheap, 9-year-old who won the 2019 Whitbread Gold Cup, so stamina not a problem. Not been great since. The going should be okay, but not on the short list as a potential winner, unless he gets back to the form of 2 years ago or so, which I doubt. Number 11, Tout Es Permis, rated 155, talented grey 8-year-old, but very much a doubtful stayer. Coming into this on the back of a fall, only second in 33 outings. He is weighted to the hilt really on his best form, so will do well to get involved in the finish. Annabelle Flyer, now there's an horse for you. 4th and 5th in the last 2 Grand Nationals, off ratings of 164 and 159. It's now rated 155. He's also been 2nd and 3rd in his 2 Gold Cups, Cheltenham Gold Cups that is, trained by a really shrewd trainer who can get one ready for the big day, as he's proved with this horse. Negatives, he's now 11. He does go on all ground. He should get round, going by his records. His record says that, and he has a chance of being placed. And he's £14 better off with Magic of Light from the last Grand National. So he might he should get round and give you a good run for your money. Mr. Malarkey, the next one, 13, talented 8-year-old, very hard to assess his chance as he seems to run a great race and then pull up every other time. It's very hit or miss. His trainer's form's not been very good at all this year, and he could run a massive race, but he's more liable not to finish. 14, Kimberlite Candy. The 9-year-old's a good age for me. He needs to run fresh, which he is. He's off a good mark. His stamina is his strength. The going, slight negative, as I think he would be better off on softer ground because it would stop some of the others and play to his strengths. But good to soft should be okay. Jockey knows his way around Aintree, and the trainer is very good at targeting races. Must have a major chance. Any second now, rated 152. Fancied runner. Ted Walsh won the race with Papillon. He loves a runner with a chance in the race, as we know with some of his other runners, Comanche Court, Seabass. The horse has won a King Muir at Cheltenham, so it's got some good form. Mark Walsh has chosen this out of all the JP Irish runners. The negatives, prone to the odd jumping error, and it has got no course experience at all of the national fences. And I do think it's a little bit short in the betting for me, but it must be there with a chance. If you back it, you've got a good chance for your money. Number 16, Balco de Floss. Very good at best, winning the Ryanair Chase back in the day in 2018. Rated then at 166, a stone higher than he is now. His owner and sponsor of that race, however, has sold him after his run in the cross country this year, so that doesn't tell me that he thinks he had a good chance of running well in this year's national. His stamina, really, he's more of a 2.5 miles at best, although he's got a decent jockey booking, but I would say he's not a certainty to actually get round. Number 17, Alfo des Obo. High class a few years back, very decent stayer over hurdles and fences. He's now 11, which is a slight negative. He ran a fair race in the cross country behind the Tiger at the festival, and he has been third in a Beecher, giving Kimberlite Candy £22 and was only beaten 8 lengths by that horse. So he's £23 better off now, but this is a mile further, so it gives the horse a decent chance of finishing and maybe challenging for a place. But I think Kimberlite Candy with that extra mile might be the one, but this horse must have a good chance of running each way chance at a massive price. OK Corral, 11-year-old coming into this race from pulling up at Cheltenham. His mark looks stiff, it looks past his best to me. No course for him at all. The ground should be all right, not much of a chance. Number 19, Taking Risks. 12-year-old, ages against him, but been in great form last couple of runs. It stays longer than the mother-in-law, as we say. Has won on all grounds. Slower ground would help, as it would bring his stamina into play more. On a career high mark now, that's the only negative. If his jumping holds up, he could have a chance of running through beaten horses and maybe getting into place. Number 20, Shattered Love, a 150 rated mare, who's been a previous Cheltenham Festival winner back in 2018, but that was over 2.5 miles. Stamina must be the issue, and the lack of course experience. But it did actually run well in the Mayor's Chase at Cheltenham recently, but you've got to doubt that it will get home over the 4 miles and 2 furlongs. 21 is Jet, another talented horse going back in the day. Good national jockey booking in Whaley Cohen, who knows his way around there like no one. Has jumped round in a Beecher Chase. The negative would be stamina. Will do well to finish, but if he does, again, he could have a small chance of each way money. Lord de Mensil, rated 149. He's actually £5 better off than he would be if he was being rated now. So he's well handicapped. He has bags of stamina, but good ground would be a massive negative, and it looks like it's going to be. It really does need testing ground to be seen at its best. And I think that on quicker ground, it might affect his jumping, which can be at times a little bit awkward. I think if the ground was heavy, this horse could near enough be favourite, but his chance has dropped from a 4-star to maybe a 2-star now. 23, Potter's Corner, 149, rated, an out-and-out stayer. It's won a Welsh National, it's won a Midlands National, off of marks that are quite a lot lower. He's run a blinder in the cross-country in November, but his 2 hurdle runs since, he's just lacks any sort of sparkle. Obviously, this is the aim of this race today. He has won on goodish ground, but his big wins have been on stamina sapping heavy ground. He's 11 now, so past his best you'd think. On a decent surface, I'd say he has a small each way chance again. Number 24 is Class Conti, a 9-year-old Willie Mullins inmate who came from France and seems to be better with juice in the ground. He has had 2 runs on heavy ground and he has 2 good runs. He's had 2 good trials in the last 2 runs on heavy ground, but I think the going and the trip this time, the only positive I'd say on that horse is Willie Mullins, but not one I'll put on my final sheet. 25 Milan native, 149 rated, won last year's Kenmure and won first time up in the Galway this season. Gone off the ball since. Was fancied in this year's Ultima at the festival when it was well backed after wind up, but was disappointing, so it'd need a very big improvement here to be involved. 26 Discorama. It's been placed at 3 Cheltenham festivals and 1 Punchestown festival, including over 4 miles on decent ground. It's had a wind up since his poor last run in November. If you forgive that and he takes to the fences, he was unluckily bumped when he had his only fall, so he's a good jumper as a rule. Today, he must have a really big chance of being involved at the finish. 27 Vion Le Rouge, rated 148, has finished 7th, 6th, 9th and 15th in his previous 4 nationals. An absolute legend for his owners. He's also running 5 beach chases over the course, winning 2, finishing 9th, 2nd and 7th in the other 3. Been an incredible horse, but now he is 12. So although he's fresh and a near certainty to get round, I don't think he can win. Then we come to the favourite, Cloth Cat, rated 148. He should be running off a rating of 162, so he's officially a stone well in. A very short price, but he just ticks all the boxes. The ground is absolutely perfect. Stamina, seems to have buckets of stamina. Class, won a Hennessy this season. Preparation, superb win when winning at Kelso, jumped like an absolute stag. His mark, as I say, he's well in. The only negatives you could say, he's never run at Aintree, and that's the only negative I can give you. He's got a good jockey on Tom Screw, and he does look the one to beat. 29 Cabaret Queen, 148, decent staying mare, has won a Munster and a Kerry National in the past, both over for basic 3 miles. She has been running over shorter since, including pulling up in her last run at the festival. I don't think this is Willie Mullins' strongest chance. 30 Manila Celebration, rated 148, has a cracking record at Aintree, but it's on the Mileway course, not on the national course. Stays well, goes on good ground, but 11-year-old might have seen better days, and he does have a habit in recent runs of making jumping errors. 31 Canelo. Canelo is rated 147, been running well in handicaps, including giving lumps of weight when third in the Grimford last time out at Doncaster. He's an 8-year-old, so it's a nice age. He runs better on better ground, has won on the Mileway course at Aintree in the past. The negative will be his ability to stay. He's never fallen, so a decent chance to be in the mix if he does get home. 33, Give Me a Copper, rated 147, goes on all ground. Pretty good jumper. 1-4 was a tied 4 at the last in the 2019 Ultima. So he needs to shake off the disappointing run that he's in the last run he had. Very lightly raced for an 11-year-old at 2 end-ups, so got to be a worry when you're running over this extreme distance that his breathing's not been great. 34, Far Class, this 7-year-old, very young and improving still, weight 146. Should be running off 148, so a couple of pound in. He's won a Triumph Hurdle back in 2018 at Cheltenham. The grey horse has been very consistent since, and a good ground is a massive, massive positive. He ran a screamer at the festival when staying up the hill in 2nd, but big improver, behind the big improver, the shunter. Jack Kennedy, has chosen him over probably quite a few rides he could have had. If he can keep this horse on the bridle and he takes to the fences, he is one of the horses I would put up as a really major chance. 35, Manila Times, 8-year-old, has the services of Rachel Blackmore, so a lot of money will be on this horse. She's had 4 rides on this horse, 2 wins, 2 seconds. I think the horse will be better on soft. It's not a proven stayer, never run in England before, so we've got the travelling and the fences and the course. Does run well when fresh, and it hasn't had a run for 2 months, and it's never fallen to date. So you're looking ifs and buts, but could be anything. Could run brilliant, could run a stinker. 32, the long mile, 147, never run in England again, yet to prove stamina. He's only ever had 1 run over 3 miles. Did come third to Borough Saint and Acapella Boudoir, but they look like they had the better chances in this race. 36, Sub Lieutenant, rated 146. He's 12-year-old now, but was once rated 162 when with Henry de Bonhead. Never really was an out-and-out stayer, in my opinion, but since with this new small stable, he's showed a glimmer of form, seems to be happy in life. And I think his price probably sums up his chance though in this race for around 100 to 1. Hogan's Height is a course and not a distance winner, a course winner when he won the Grand Sefton off a mark of 134 back in 2019. He's now gone up nearly a stone since then, and he's on a career high mark. He was a distance 6 to the Tiger last time out in the cross country, I believe, and I'm not sure he's proven to stay the second lap. If it was over the shorter trip again, you'd give him some sort of chance. The last 3 horses in Double Shuffle. He's a good ground horse, flat track, suits the type. He's run loads and loads of races in Grade 1s over the years, handicap and listed. In 2017, I believe he pulled up on similar going. 4 years on, may struggle to see out the trip now. I don't think he's got a major chance. 39, Ami Desbrou. Run a couple of decent handicap efforts over 3 miles and good at soft. Again, he's got to take to the fences, could have a small squeak, but a bit late at 11 to be trying an extreme trip like this, in my opinion, for the first time. Then we come to the final one, Black Line. Interesting horse. He's actually running off a £7 iron mark that he would be now if the ratings come out, so that's not a good start. But he was actually favourite for this race when he was 4th back in 2017, and then he won the Beecher Chase 8 months later off a 153 mark. But he's now 12, and he was bought for big money to be a national horse for the owners, but I'm not sure he's going to be involved in finish this time. I think he's past his best. Thank you. I find that hard, it's so hard